Welcome to CGTN Live. This is a special series along China's greatest rivers. During the week of the National Day holiday, we're going to take you through the diverse ecosystems from the nation's largest rivers. Now, today, our location is the Liao River in China's northeast. And we're at the Shifosi Reservoir in Shenyang, the capital of Liaoning Province. The only dam on the mainstream of the Liao River is located in the reservoir. We'll see it later. Now, let me introduce my guest today, Director Zhao Haochen from the Liaoning Shifosi Reservoir Management Company. We're about to jump on the battery car and start our trip today. Let's go.我们现在要去一个，就是我们要去的这个地方，您能介绍一下吗？整个这个水库的情况。
Destination today. Can you tell me something about it?
我们现在所处的位置呢，就在
Good morning, dear viewers.
石佛寺水库呢是辽宁省
Reservoir.
15期间呢重要建设
So
项
it
目
is
之
one
一
of the，key
是辽河
projects
干流上
on the
唯一一
15th
个控制
five-year
性
plan
水利
of
枢纽
Liaoning Province.
它是
It's a water
2003 年
control
5月份
project
开工建设
and
，2005年10月份
it
主体
was
完工，并
initiated
且
in
发挥了防洪效益。
2003 and in
咱们石佛寺水
2005,
库呢，
construction kicked
是
off.
全长主坝长
The
是
dam
42
has a
米
total
其中主坝呢
length
是
of
副坝是
40
只有
kilometers.
主坝、副坝。
So that is combining the main dam, the supplementary dam. We have a floor discharge gate that is located right on the mainstream of Liaohe River. So this is a water control project.
它的最大泄洪量呢是每秒7000。
So each second it's able to discharge more than 7,000 cubic meters of water.
防洪库容是1.6米。
So this is just a very simple introduction of the reservoir.
那边就是辽河了吗？
So Liaohe is on our right hand.
咱们辽河的主干。
Correct.
今天天气不太好，
Because the weather is not very good today, we don't have very good visibility. And we also have the belt of forest on our right hand. And later, when we reach some very flat land, we're going to have very good visibility.
平时我们这边游客这个高峰的时间。
So what is
大概
the
每年的
peak season for tourism here?
水库呢，就是自从创建了景
Well, since this has been established as a tourist spot,
项目为主要的一些。
we have attracted a huge number of tourists who come here for the beautiful scenery and for the birds and for photography. So we start the tourism season at around May, and we close the park at around November. So the peak season is in July and autumn.
我们辽宁这边一般都管这个辽河称
In Liaoning, people call the Liaohe River
您能
the mother river.
这个辽河平原
Is that correct? Can you tell me something about the Liaohe Plain? So Liaohe is actually one of the 7 major rivers in China. It was originated in Guangzhou Shan of Hebei Province.
辽河的名字它是由这个契丹语来。
The name Liaohe was actually given by those Qidan people from hundreds of years ago, if not thousands of years ago. So it came from the Hebei province, it traveled then to Inner Mongolia, and then it traveled into Liaoning Province. It's one of the 7 biggest rivers in China. It is renowned as the mother river of Liaoning because it has nourished the people on both sides of the river for generations.
但是辽河呢，就是自古以来
But since time immemorial, this river has given us a lot of floods. In the end of the 1990s, the central government was determined to put in place some control project. And in 2001, a flood control department was established. And in 2003, this concept of a reservoir was proposed. And in 2007, we were given a national prize for water management. So this is a very big prize that we have obtained.
刚才能够稍微看到就是树
So
这
we
边
could see a little bit behind the trees.
但是这
Well, this is the season for lotus, so that is why all the lotuses, they are in the color of yellow. I heard that in summer, a lot of the birds migrate here to spend the season. Well, we have a lot of birds experts in this part of the country. We have more than 170 types of different species of birds. We have wild ducks, we have wild chickens, and we also have many different types of birds. For example, osprey and also oriental white-crowned crane. Over the past few years, according to our observation, we have 4 white-crowned crane which migrate here every year, and they lay eggs and then they simply leave the place. Well, this is also an attestament that the environment here is becoming better. We are attracting a huge number of birds each year. So this is one of the docks. Yes, this is Furong Dock. So in summer you have bamboo raft. Correct. That's one of the transportation means of our tourists. In the Liaohe River basin, what were the achievements we have made in ecological improvements? Well, you must have heard this line: lush mountains and lucid waters are mountains and waters of gold and silver. And that is why in this part of the country we have recovered a lot of the farmland and returned them to forests. Between 2009 and 2011, we have taken a number of measures for ecological preservation. We planted a lot of trees and we added a lot of lotus in the reservoir. And prior to that, there was no water in the reservoir, but right now it's filled with a field of water. So we have a water area that is 13.7 square kilometers. So because of the water, there's a lot of humidity in this part of the area, and that is why we have the wetland. So the small climate in this region has been dramatically improved. In autumn, you can see a lot of the lotus flower on the surface of the water, and they play a very important role in purifying the air condition. We have seaweeds, we have all types of plants, and prior to that, the water quality in the river was not very ideal, and there were upstream enterprises and factories who discharged untreated sewage water into the river. But over the years, they have been demolished, they have been relocated. A slew of protective measures have been put in place, and that is why the environment in this part of the area has been dramatically enhanced, and we have formed a very sound and friendly eco-environment. So this is a bridge for tourists. So right now this scenic park is closed. Yes, because we no longer have those flowers. So it's quite seasonal, and we close it up when the flowers are off the season of blossom. What you now see are a few artificial islands. We added plantation on the island so that they look
那
beautiful.
边有一个岛屿上，
And far away over there, another artificial island has become a very natural place attracting a huge number of birds. And we call it the Birds Island. And we try to minimize human intervention and impact on that island. So now you can see this vast land, you can see the artificial islands far away, the green plantations on it, and a lot of birds. So what are those birds?
野鸭这种鸟，
Are they in winter? Are they here in the winter? Yes, if you're talking about wild duck, but for those other cranes, they cannot survive the winter here. So that is why in the second half of September, they have to migrate to other places. Each year at the beginning of spring, we have the breeding season of wild duck, and tens of thousands of ducks are gathered here for the breeding season. So, which is to say that if you come here in April and May, you can see a lot of wild ducks. Correct. So where is this dam located on the Liaohe River? So we're at the lower stream. We're at the Liaoyang City and Tieling City intersection. So the main purpose of the reservoir is to control floods. And if we have big floods, we're gonna close the gate so that we can amass water in the reservoir, and when the flood season passes, we can discharge the water, so we can offset those rarely seen floods in every 30 years, and also those floods that takes place in every 100 years. I can see a couple of wind panels right over there. Yes. So the closer we get to the Liaohe River, the windy it becomes. You can see the wild ducks on our left hand. So they are quite resistant to cold. So where are they in winter? Well, they can simply build a nest in a dry weed. So this is a tributary of Liaohe River? No, this is just water ponds. Alright, we have arrived at one of the docks of the scenic park, and this is called the Xiting Dock. So the name was given from one of the poems of Li Qingzhao. This is simply to give you some poetic feelings. All right, we can walk down and see some of the lotus flowers.
它这个繁殖能力很强，它有一个像咱们东北
The lotus flowers, they are very resilient,
能达到3千多。
and you just need to plant a little bit, and then they will give you a whole large area of flowers. Not so many boats today, but we still have 1 or 2 rafts. So we have to row manually. No, it's automatic. It has the motor. All right, I can see it's a fairly large raft, and each raft can hold 16 passengers. Because the raft they are relatively smaller and they have minimal impact over the birds. So we are developing this region on a basis and precondition of preservation. So this is the water after treatment. Well, here at this part, the water quality is not very ideal, but if you row to the center of the pond, you will see better water quality. I heard that Liaohe, one of the arbitraries, used to be called the dirty water. So yes, we have a reservoir that is built on this dirty water. So the Liaohe River generally has better water quality. All right, now let's transfer to the reservoir. So we have to maintain a very stable water level just for the lotuses. And the water level here is maintained at 45.2 meters. And if the water is too deep, those lotuses, they won't be able to survive. So between July and August, I heard there was a flood warning. So did you see this flood? How did you solve the problem? Yes, we had a warning of flood because the precipitation this year is quite significant. But the reservoirs in the upstream of the river, and they played a very important role, and we simply coordinated our efforts. We controlled the water volume in the river, so we successfully dealt with this flood. But this being said, the precipitation is truly amazing, and the water level quickly rose. Were there any impacts to our lotuses here? Yes, there were some impacts, but we took countermeasures. Some of the lotus rivers, they were submerged for a couple of days, and some didn't survive. So the reservoir, as I mentioned earlier, is built for flood control purposes. Those willow trees that you see, and those were also part of the protective measures. If we plant a lot of trees, they can very efficiently hold off the water. So in front of us is the discharge gate, and down below that are our two major waterways. So the wind is getting stronger. Well, this shows that we're getting close to the sluice. In China's north, apart from Liaohe River and Songhua River, what are the other rivers? In Dandong, we have also Yalu River. Songhua River and Liaohe River, those are the two major rivers in northeastern part of China. We have a lot of smaller rivers, such as Taizi River. All right, on our left hand, you can see this dam discharging some of the water, but this is not too significant, not too much water. So this is the reservoir discharging the water, because we have only one floodgate open. Later, I believe we can see a grand picture where you can see both the water in front of the floodgate and behind the floodgate or sluice. So this is the 16-hole reservoir, and if we open them all, we will see a very magnificent view. And as I mentioned earlier, we have altogether 16 floodgates on this part of the reservoir. So what is this sculpture? So this is just a floating sculpture on this slope to mark the completion of this project. Further down is the control tower of the floodgate. So we should have a person standing on duty 24/7 throughout the year. All right, this is one observatory deck of the reservoir, and you can see the distinction between the upper stream and middle stream of the Liaohe River. So this is not the upstream or middle stream of the Liaohe River. This is just this area, and you can see our floodgates. You can see two sides and what they look like. And this reservoir is working in coordination with the fall reservoirs in the upper stream. We coordinate our activities so that we can very effectively protect those villages and cities in the lower stream of the river. We are also protecting the Beijing-Shenyang highway and also some of the oil pipelines and telecommunication lines. So we are truly protecting those infrastructure network of the country. On the left hand of the floodgate, I believe the water level is almost the same with the one on the right. So what is the worst scenario? The worst scenario is that we have a flood that is taking place every 300 years, and that would give you the water level that can almost submerge the watergate. So this is the main sluice, and we also have some supplementary sluices. Because we are located in a plain area, we have more than one sluice. This is not in the mountainous area where all the water are put together in one pond, so you just need to have one floodgate. All right, thank you very much for your introduction. This is about the end of today's program.
Well, thanks for watching. This is the end of the trip today. If you want to come, do find a fine weather. Find a good day to come. Is from May to September every year. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for our next episode. Bye.